Yeah. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, you know what time it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not officially off season, but for us, it's off season, man. Come on, we ain't got to go back. We don't have to backtrack and let you know why it's off season for us. The Philadelphia Eagles are out of the playoffs. It's off season for us. And, you know, we got some things to talk about. We got some things to discuss, man. So I talked yesterday about Malcolm Jenkins and why he deserves a contract. Let's talk about Jim Schwartz. I believe Jim Schwartz is, in fact, one of those really important people in the organization to this point. You know what I'm saying? I think Jim Schwartz, you can put up the case that it could be retained. You know what I'm saying? I think in the press conference today, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, that Jim Schwartz was talking about even going to the Detroit Lions for a lesser role. Going to the Lions to be a defensive coordinator for the Lions. You know, I don't understand that, man. You know what I'm saying? I think Jim Schwartz deserves to be a head coach, or he just deserves to stay with us. A lot of people are throwing out these theories that, hey, if we let Jim go, maybe we could bring in a Rex Ryan. Is Rex Ryan even willing to come back? It's a lot of things that come with stuff like that, man. You never know who you're going to get when you lose your defensive coordinator. But Jim Schwartz has been clutch down the tail end of the season for the last 3 years for us. He's been clutch. He's been a great defensive coordinator, man. You know what I mean? So you can't discount what Jim Schwartz has brought to the organization. Howie Roseman, man. You know what I mean? Howie Roseman. I respect Howie Roseman. I gained a lot of respect for Howie Roseman listening in on his press conference a little bit. And I gained a lot of insight on why Howie Roseman made moves and didn't make moves. Howie Roseman is a smart guy, man. Howie Roseman knows what he needs to tighten up. You know, he even put it out there on the table, man. He said he failed. In short, Howie Roseman believes he failed. Howie Roseman believes he didn't do all he could have done to help the team out in hindsight. He didn't blame injury. He didn't blame this player. He didn't blame that player. He put the onus on himself, man. And a lot of GMs don't do stuff like that. A lot of GMs get fired. A lot of GMs that are afraid to put the ownership on themselves. But, you know, Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson are not that far removed from a Super Bowl title. So I guess, you know, some learning still got to be done. Howie Roseman did work out a beautiful deal, and it did put some insight on the Alshon Jeffrey situation, man. Alshon Jeffrey took a pay cut last year, basically to ensure that he will be back this year. And I don't think that was a bad move by Alshon Jeffrey. You know what I mean? I like Alshon Jeffrey. I want to see Alshon Jeffrey come back full strength with Deshaun Jackson and whoever else you know we draft. You know, I think Howie took a lot of heat for moving up, and not moving up. Howie took a lot of heat for going after Arcega-Whiteside. He had 10 receptions on the year. He wasn't no help when nobody went down. He seemed to not grasp the playbook at times. Howie took some heat for that, and Howie owned up for that, man. So, you know, hopefully Arcega-Whiteside could come along, man. Howie still seems to be high on Nelson Aguilar, you know, but Howie, he explained his biggest weakness. His biggest weakness is the simple fact that he gets too attached to these players. And I could kind of see that from Howie Roseman. And he also admitted to that, you know, bringing back Darren Sproles did hinder the growth of a lot of our young running backs. And I said that as soon as we decided to bring back Darren Sproles. It hindered the growth and development of a lot of guys. If you don't bring back Darren Sproles and you give Corey Clement a bigger role, you never know where Corey Clement's career could be right now. Darren Sproles' career was over. Darren Sproles, when we brought back Darren Sproles, he had 2 more years left tops. Couldn't stay healthy. He was getting old, constantly getting beat up. It really was no point to bring him back. But Howie Roseman understands the mistake there with bringing Darren Sproles back. Had we not had significant injuries in the backfield, we would not know what we have in Miles Sanders or in Boston Scott. Now, Miles Sanders was getting time in the beginning of the season, but we wouldn't know what we have in Boston Scott had we not had significant injuries. And Boston Scott was on our roster the whole time. Same goes for Greg Ward. So all of that is, you know, I'm not saying that's totally on the GM. I'm saying a lot of that stuff, not knowing who you got on your roster, it's coaching too. So, you know, they made some mistakes in those areas. Howie also talked about, you know, making sure that he has a nice blend of veteran leaders and young guys, because young guys deserve playing time too. You know what I mean? I can't think of nobody who's still in the playoffs right now who don't got a young guy. You know, Lamar Jackson in his second year. And I'm not just talking about quarterbacks, man. Lamar Jackson got a rookie wide receiver out there who's a big part, an integral part of their offense. But they also got a mix of veteran talent. The Earl Thomases, the Mark Ingrams,
You know what I mean? That's just an example from that team. You could talk about the Tennessee Titans. They got a veteran quarterback, but that veteran quarterback is throwing the ball to some young, exciting pieces over there. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was right about that. You got to blend in some of the old with the new. You got to make those things happen, man. And I think we went a little too old last year. And you know, he also talked about the importance of stacking these picks and trying to hit. I feel like he's really trying to hit. We got a lot of picks this upcoming draft, and you know, that's something to be excited about. So you know what I mean? Howie talked about his deficiencies. He put his deficiencies out on the table so we can no longer be mad. Now, Doug Peterson did say that he did expect Mike Groh and the other guy named Carson, I forget his name, Mike Groh and somebody else to come back. Nobody's really happy about Mike Groh coming back. I think down the stretch, I think Mike Groh proved a little to be more useful than we thought in the beginning of the season. But if you're going to let Mike Groh go, it don't matter if Mike Groh's in the building or not. A lot of people don't want to admit that because Doug Peterson is calling the plays. And with Doug Peterson being the head coach, I think I don't think he got an ego, but as him being a head coach, he's not going to come out and say, listen, I can't call these plays to the best of the ability of the team. Maybe we should bring somebody, maybe we should outsource some help. He's not going to do that because that's going to admit a deficiency in his game plan and who he is as a head coach. And I don't think at this young tenure in Doug Peterson's head coaching career, he want to do something like that. But it might be best for the team. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that losing Jim Schwartz is what's best for this team right now. Now, he also addressed the Malcolm Jenkins situation. I'm talking about Howie Roseman. He knows where Malcolm Jenkins is coming from. Malcolm Jenkins deserves a deal. Malcolm Jenkins deserves to be taken care of. And I think Howie is going to get that right. We got a lot of cap space. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys on the internet who not Eagles fans, who fans of other teams in the offseason, they're going to have a hard time with making their team's content. Because if you look around the NFC East, a lot of those guys are, a lot of those guys seem to be holding on to this trend of keeping losing alive in those franchises. I'm not really worried about what the Giants are doing, but the Giants seem to be worried about a lot about what we're doing. All these guys' videos are based upon the Eagles being put out the playoffs, but they didn't put us out the playoffs. I will never understand that concept. A lot of people want to say stuff like this to me, though. Like, okay, so Brunson, had the roles been reversed, you would make a video about that too. You have yet to see that because I'll tell you what, since I've been on YouTube, my team been in the playoffs. So I don't know what I would be talking about. But I know my team makes the playoffs every year during my YouTube career. So you can't talk about what you think. I'm talking about what I know, though. New York Giants are here hiring the Patriots wide receiver coach as their head coach. I don't even know dude's name. Nobody knows his name. And they're being real optimistic about that, though, because they have to, because that's their team. None of them are coming right out their mouth and being honest about it, though, and saying that is one of the worst things that the New York Giants have done in franchise history. You hire a wide receiver coach who just got put out against the Titans, and the whole entire wide receiver core has 68 receiving yards. What's been the biggest problem for the Patriots all season? Wide receiver. Ron Rivera ain't no world beater. It's probably the best offseason move, though, for a lot of people in the league. And we know the Dallas Cowboys, we know what they're going to do. I feel good about my coaching staff. We still got the best coaching staff in the division. It's not up for debate. What the Philadelphia Eagles have to do now is they have to find the right blend of people to put on this roster. They got to find the right blend of people to put on the roster, and I think that's something that we're looking forward to doing, man. Howie Roseman seems very enthusiastic about this upcoming draft. I think that was a brilliant move by Alshon. And the thing about that with Alshon is this. I feel like Alshon had some type of security all season. His body language told me that he had security. And lo and behold, he worked out a deal. I'll take a pay cut this year, but you got to guarantee that you're going to keep me around next year. Brilliant by Alshon Jeffrey. I bet you don't hear a peep out of Alshon Jeffrey next season. I bet you see nothing but productivity out of Alshon Jeffrey. You know what I mean? Deshaun Jackson as well. The Philadelphia Eagles, they got a lot of picks, man, and I think we're gonna go hard in the draft this year. I don't see us trading none of our picks. I don't see us doing nothing like that. But we got the freedom to do so. We got the cap space. So all you YouTube, NFL financial advisors who think y'all know that teams are broke or not, really don't know what y'all talking about, save that for your team. Worry about your team's financial budget. Because my team is going to bring in new talent, and I think we're going to make a splash in free agency. But we got to wait till that time come. So as you guys know, I often get a lot of messages now. Well, not often. It's been happening out of the last 6 months. You know, I've been talking to a lot of NFL players, ex-NFL players, and you know, NFL players currently on our roster. You know what I mean? I've been trying to get some of these guys to be a part of my YouTube channel. So the latest guy I talked to, I really wanted him to be a part of the channel because he kind of made a fool of himself, and I wanted some real Philadelphia Eagles fans. The guys that subscribe to me and the guys that subscribe to all the Eagles content creators, I wanted us to be able to see this guy and address this guy. I'm talking about Orlando Scandrick. Yes. Orlando Scandrick. I've been talking to Orlando Scandrick via DM. I tried to get him on the show. I asked him, I said, Orlando, I'm hearing rumors about Shannon about to put boots on you backstage after after y'all situation on the show, which really wasn't a situation. This is how I know it was true. He immediately got defensive. He comes out and says, that's about as real as Shannon Sharp really drinking and smoking Black and Milds. So he tried to tell me that Shannon Sharp don't really drink in real life. Well, come on, we all know that that's a lie. Shannon Sharp is a national treasure to the football community and the Philadelphia Eagles community. There's nothing you can say that can tarnish Shannon Sharp's reputation because we know that's what you do. You're a professional reputation tarnisher. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, he wants me to pay him so he could be a part of a live stream so me and him could talk about, we ain't even got to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. He don't want that to be the topic of his universe. I don't know what he want. He want football to be the topic of his universe. But verbatim, and I actually understand. I get where you're coming from. I know it's a business with him. He is saying that, why would he go from the top-rated sports debate show to doing something for free? I understand that. So when I get in the position to pay people to come on a platform, that's probably what's going to happen. But from now on, a lot of underdogs, a lot of underrated people, they willing to do it for free right now because they need to be heard and they need to be discussed. So we had a chance to get Orlando Scandrick, but it didn't really pan out. You know what I'm saying? He's not a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? That was just for us to get a better understanding of why he got that much hate in his blood. Coming from listen, it wouldn't be scripted, so he would have been able to say exactly what he wanted to say. I don't do scripts. He could have got whatever he wanted to get off his chest. It sounded like he wanted some more. It sounded like he got some more phlegm in his chest. You know what I'm saying? Every time he say Malcolm Jenkins' name, his nose flare up like he angry about something. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm Jenkins is one of the best Eagles players that we had in a long time. So I'm not going to stand by and watch any ex-Eagle who was on you know what I mean? Who ain't helped the team while he was here anyway, talk bad about a guy that we look at as one of the leaders of our team without giving a formal explanation to the people, man, and to the bullies and to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was coming from that standpoint. Now the Philadelphia Eagles offseason, I'm looking forward to a lot of things this offseason, man. I'm just looking forward to us, finally having a healthy season. Carson Wentz had a healthy season this season. Great. The knee is fine. The knee is fully healed. His arm seemed to take the next step forward. You know what I mean? We're not going to talk about the hit no more. I hear the NFL is reviewing that. I'm just really proud of Carson Wentz. I feel like his game his leadership went up. You know what I mean? Everything took the next step for Carson Wentz. We found some running backs. Our tight end core is elite. Alshon coming back. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. You know what I mean? Deshaun Jackson is definitely coming back. We got some veterans on our team that's locked up and we're going to keep around. The Brandon Graham is locked up. Our left guard, our right guard locked up. Jason Peters remains a mystery. I'm just anxious to see what we do with guys like Jason Peters and Nelson Aguilar and Ronald Darby. I'm anxious to see, man, because you don't waste a top 10 pick on a guy you don't waste a first round pick on a guy like Andre Dillard, who showed you he was ready to play from the jump, just to bring back Jason Peters. I don't believe in that, man. I don't know why the Philadelphia, if that's what they're doing, I don't know why they would do something like that. But, a top 10 pick deserves his playing time. You know what I mean? And I think Howie Roseman finally understands that with the young talent and how they emerged, you got to look into that more. You can't just draft. You got to sometimes, the coaching staff has tried it before, and to their fault, it just didn't work out. They tried to throw Sidney Jones out there early. They tried to throw Rasul Douglas out there early. It just didn't work out. So I can understand why they would, why they would hold certain reservations on doing that again. So, you know what I mean? But you got to find that right mix. And you can't get rid of Malcolm Jenkins and think you're going to throw a bunch of young cornerbacks and young safeties out there and think they're going to be able to stay composed. A lot of things happen to a lot of NFL teams that don't happen to teams like the Philadelphia Eagles because we well coached. You don't see cornerbacks jumping in wide receivers' faces causing 15-yard penalties. You don't see cornerbacks running up to the ref and doing X, Y, and Z. You don't see that from our wide receivers either. Because we got a certain level of respect and a culture that we got to uphold that happens a lot in our locker room behind the scenes that people don't get to see. And Malcolm Jenkins and Fletcher Cox, you know what I'm saying? And the Deshaun Jacksons and the Zach Ertz, those guys help keep the young guys grounded so the young guys don't make vital mistakes on the field. That's why veteran leadership is really important, man, on the Philadelphia Eagles roster and in today's NFL. Because those 15-yard penalties can end the game for you. You know what I'm saying? It's all about next play, next man up with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think Howie Roseman, I thank Howie Roseman for just showing the testicular fortitude to being able to man up to his deficiencies and saying, listen, I failed. I'm going to correct it. Let me know what you think in the comments.